the Americo then will give them a non-smoker rate for the first 3 years. On the 4th year, they get a letter saying, hey, you've had this for 3 years. We want proof that you quit smoking. Okay, so we want proof from either your doctor or a saliva test to make sure that you did quit, and we'll keep your rates the same. If you didn't quit, 2 things will happen. You either paid the higher premium now as a smoker rate because you didn't change, or we lower your face amount because you're paying the same. All right, welcome. We are getting started. You got your host here. My name is John. We got Joan.
Hi, everyone.
Agent Q&A. So we're going to start off with the new agent roadmap. Okay, we get a lot of questions, brand new agents coming in. We have a picture of a roadmap of where you should be into the business. Okay, and then Yoel will post this later on with the picture of it. So let's say you're a brand new agent. Okay. You're licensed. What's the first step? We're going to get you an invite on HCMS. Okay. You're going to request your carriers. So that's the first part. Okay. You're going to request your 3 main carriers. A lot of things are now on the NLC with open carriers are available on NLC, Joanne.
Yes. So in NLC, we have Americo, Mutual of Omaha, and American Amicable.
Okay. And then you get Sure LC for your AIG.
Correct.
And then your upline, your direct upline will send you an invite for our Prosperity. Okay. The 3 main companies that get you the fastest contracting is Prosperity in America, which typically does about a day. AIG, just a few days, right? So once you have that, while you're waiting on that, you can start doing your boot camp. Okay, go ahead and explain the boot camp.
Yeah, so for the boot camp, we have, we direct you guys to 2 different sites. One of them is located in Gateway, and you guys can go ahead and get access to that once you guys are onboarded. And then we also have the Elite Academy that we have structured out specifically for the agency to be able to help you guys through your journey when you guys begin with us.
Okay, and you normally will have access to this once you get a welcome email from Joanne. There will be a link in there. It's also on our Elite FFL website as well.
Yep.
Okay, so while waiting for carriers, how long would you say it takes to accomplish and finish the boot camp?
Honestly, a couple of hours, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. So agents are usually done within the same day. Within the day that they're doing their contracting, they are going into the boot camp for the remainder of their day, and then they're finishing up.
Yeah. And what do you expect from boot camp? You just learn from A through Z. Okay. What are leads? How do we dial? What phone calls? What to do? Presentations? What type of similar products? Basic products that we're going to offer. You want to keep it very simple, and that's what the boot camp does. It alleviates a lot of what's this, who, what, why, where, all these questions that you may have. It's all in there. Okay. Next, while you're waiting on the carriers, you also want to join our social media and our group me. Okay. So we have multiple communication channels out there. Our company and our agency uses the group me. You can ask any questions in there. Multiple agents are on it. They post their sales. They post questions. They post whatever they feel to that business related to the company, related to working, right? So nothing too crazy, but more about sales processes. So once you have an agent number means you can set up your contracting. The company, the carrier ran your background. They issue you basically the employee ID or your agent number. Okay, you're now able to sell their insurance products. Okay, once you have agent products, you do 2 things. You can go into our live dials and you can start watching people first. Once you feel a little bit comfortable, which how long would you think watching people doing live dials until you're comfortable?
Yeah, my opinion is if you're just going to be watching them on live dials, you should probably be trying to dial along with them, not just watching them. But in my opinion, we do have some agents that just hop on the live dials to be able to hear some of our experienced agents while they're still going, or they're beginning their contracting phase and the boot camp phase. So I can definitely see some agents going in there maybe for a day or 2 to kind of hear what it's like. And then the next day they're typically on there making their own calls.
How long does it really take? As fast as you want it to be.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you need to listen to somebody for you to start dialing, calling? No, you just need verification. You're probably looking just for proof that it works. The lead works, the client works. You will get clients that turn you down, reject you. You will get clients that say, yeah, I want life insurance, John, come sign me up. But the live dials will be available for you to watch others or to be critiqued by others so that we can help and improve you in your business, right? So you just watching continuously and never starting won't do you any good. Okay, you're better off unmuting and start dialing together, right? So I would say watch a few times on the live dials, at most maybe the same day. Look at the scripts, read around the scripts, see the principles of the scripts of how they're associating themselves, getting away from being a telemarketer to getting into in front of a client and presenting them the products and the insurance that they need. And then you start buying leads. Okay, start buying leads and start booking your own appointments. You either book an appointment or you do a live telesale, close one call close on the spot on the live dial, so we can help you how we approach your business. Right. So that's the next part. You're either booking appointments if you're going to go into the field. So you book it for the next day or the second next day. You don't want to book it more than 2 days apart. Anything farther than that, it's usually going to be a no-show. You agree?
Yes.
Right. So, but if you're doing virtual sales, you call the client, you present what you're going to provide for them and help them with an application, and you start doing sales. Okay. So you use the script, you use the financial inventory sheet. This, during the conversation, allows you to figure out what the client will be able to qualify for. So now from calling, booking, or presenting, now we go into figuring out what they can qualify for, which is the underwriting side. Okay. So in your Google Drive from Joanne's welcome email, you will have a Google Drive which will have all the carriers in there. On a specific folder, there's the field materials folder. Okay. This will be your number one folder. You click on that. There's multiple sheets, but there's a cheat sheet for a term underwriting and a final expense underwriting. Okay. You will typically see most of all the conditions that you will come across. There will be some rare occasions, and that's where the group me will come in. I got, like, for example, right now I'm dealing with the client, got the client for one policy because they have Bell's palsy. Never knew what that was, but it's like a mini stroke, but not a stroke. They lose like a portion of their face, and they can't move it.
Yeah.
So this client, she got hospitalized the first day when she was diagnosed from it because they couldn't tell what it was. It looked like a stroke, so she stayed overnight.
Yeah.
Well, when I did an application, a simplified issue, it got declined. So now I find out, I go call other carriers, I go try to do an underwriting to figure out what's the next best move. So special rare occasions, we do extra work, we do extra homework. But most of the time, I would just say most clients will have conditions wise that's easily underwritable with us.
Oh, like blood pressure or diabetes. I heard this morning someone with HIV got approved too. So
yeah,
it's like
basic stuff. Most clients will have diabetes, high blood pressure, previous heart attack, cancer.
Yeah.
All of those things will be on your underwriting cheat sheet. If they had some crazy stuff, usually term is not available for them. Okay. If you're looking for a term, they got to be in a decent, pristine condition. Nothing crazy, nothing critical that they've had before. So you will look into the underwriting guide. If you have an immediate help, you're in front of a client, you're kind of panicking, go right on the GroupMe. Make sure you guys download the GroupMe app. Type in, I got a client. Be very detailed with it so that we know how we can help you. It's not just like, hey, Joanne, I got a client, high blood pressure. What do I do?
Yeah.
Like, what do you want?
Yeah, there's also the client inventory sheet that's on there for the agents that are listening.
Yes.
So you guys can just go in there, fill out that sheet, and then take an image of it and upload it into the group. I think that kind of gives people a better idea of which carrier to recommend.
Right. And on speaking of the inventory sheet, there's a term one or a mortgage protection one, and there's a final expense one. Make sure you're filling out the specific one for the client that you're helping. The best thing is you will see in the middle of that page, there's multiple conditions and medical illnesses. You don't want to cross it off. That's one of my pet peeves. They cross off and cross off and cross off. And now I got to look at the picture and like, which one do they have? What they have or what they don't have.
Yeah.
It's easier, leave it alone and only circle what applies for them. Just circle what they got. So at least we see it on the page. Okay, they circled CHF, congestive heart failure. Okay, that's an AIG. Right? They put dialysis. Great, that's an AIG. So, but don't X, then circle. Now I got to like maneuver around it and figure it out. So you do the underwriting guide. You will learn as you go. You're going to learn as much as you can with underwriting through the spaced repetition that you're going to have with multiple clients and typically the same conditions. Like I've learned when I'm doing the underwriting for heart conditions, I learned to ask about blood thinners. Because blood thinners, it's easy for some carriers. It's like an auto decline for Americo or Eagle Premier. So this one thing is called clopidogrel or Plavix or Lasix. Prosperity takes it, but American Eagle Premier will auto decline it. So I'm gonna go straight to Prosperity with it. Yeah. Okay. So and then you would start learning about the years. Most conditions they have a question about it's in the last 2 years, the last year, the last 3 years. The best thing is the last over more than 2 years, you can typically get them a level plan. Okay. So once you go through the underwriting, then you figure out which carrier you're going to use. Okay. You want to try to stick with our main 3 carriers because number one, they are 100% instant approval. Okay. We have other carriers. They're good. They're price competitive, but you don't get to figure out if they're approved on the spot. Okay. If they're not approved on the spot, you pivot again. And then you pivot again. And then now you're running around in circles trying to get the client the best deal. Now you did like 4 carriers.
Yeah.
So Americo, Prosperity, in the middle of the application for either one of these, before we even move into the bank account information, this is what I tell the clients. It'll tell you if they're trending to be approved. They're based on this, they're eligible for coverage for a level plan or the Eagle Premier plan. If they're not, it'll kick out and you can stop the application in the middle and then try another carrier, right? AIG, there's 2 plans for AIG, the SIWL and the guaranteed issue whole life. SIWL means simplified issue whole life. It's just like Prosperity and Americo's. That one tells you like a little bit 3/4 in the way. Okay. And if not, then there's the guaranteed one. So if you stick around these 3, you get a client approved, you never have to follow up with underwriting. Okay. You do other carriers, companies. That's the thing. I'm dealing with a client. I tried to get him a better plan. They wanted more. They wanted 100,000. So I tried a better plan, and yeah, so that kicked out. I get an auto decline after submitting the application, and now we don't know what happened. and then after, of course, at the end of the applications, it's like, oh, it could be my Bell's palsy. You didn't say that before, did you? You just said I only have high blood pressure. Oh yeah, well, I think it was over 5 years ago. I was in the hospital. You didn't say that before, did you? So now all these things pop up. Clients will always subjectively tell you that they're healthier. How's your health? Good. I feel great. How many meds you take? 30. Clients will always come up with all these things. So be very, very like detailed with your underwriting. So that way you don't run around with multiple questions.
Yeah.
I've also made those mistakes where I didn't ask the height and weight. Some carriers have a height and weight, some don't. Most do. I just run it, go through it, auto decline with height and weight because I didn't check the height and weight parameters in your field materials. It's in there. You scroll down, it tells you which carrier you're applying. It tells you the height and weight restrictions for that. So that way you don't make my mistakes and lose a couple of $1,000.
Right.
So going back to the roadmap, you run your quotes, right? You're going to choose Americo, Prosperity, or then AIG. Then once you quote, this is where your sales skills will come in. So this is where you're going to learn how to close. You're going to learn to lead the client from one hand to the next on the next spot of, okay, I went through your numbers. What questions do you have for me? Which option works better for you? What do you want to start with? Where do you want to apply? You got to have closing questions at the end. Because if I just said, Joe, here's your plan, 10,000 for $100, 20,000 for $200, 30,000 for $300, and I shut up. What happens? Do you think Joe will be like, yeah, I'm down? Right? The clients want to be led. So if I don't ask the next question of, okay, which one do you want to apply with? They're just sitting there still and like, what else information do you want to tell me?
Yeah.
So you got to move on. So the next step is now we apply to see what you can qualify for. Okay, which plan do you want to apply for first? All right. So now we learn about the rebuttals, the objections, get at least 3 no's. If you made the sale, you complete the application. This is where your skill will come back in. You got to be quick. You got to be as fast as you can because you don't want to get the client on the line, take too long. And I said, forget it. Never mind. It's been an hour. I got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've ever had those?
No.
Okay. Hopefully not. You'll pick up as fast as you can. You will run into some clients
that are in a rush, maybe sometimes too.
Worse, they're old and they don't know how to do email signatures. Those are bad. I've had a client. I don't know. I still haven't followed up. Well, they haven't picked up again, meaning that I called again. I follow up. They haven't picked up. I sent them the email signatures and that was it. Never got the email signed. So I can't even start with the HIPAA and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the wash. Speaking of which, I remember now. I'm gonna call him later. It's gonna go to voicemail. This client, his name is also John, right? In Florida. Another John. He picks up from his house phone. I said, okay, I'm sending you the email. Okay, I'm gonna turn on my computer. That's what he said. I'm gonna turn on my computer. I hear the TV in the background. 30 minutes in, I'm calling. John, you there? Nothing. That was the last time. I had to hang up. I was 30 minutes of just like TV. What was I gonna do?
Yeah.
I called him again. I said, John, what happened? Yeah, I was waiting for you to send the email. I sent you the email.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
So I sent the email again because instead of like looking through all the email, send it so it'll pop up. You know what he said? Okay, buddy, I'm gonna look for the email. That was it. 30 minutes again with the audio and the TV in the background. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he has Alzheimer's, dementia, he can't work it, but yeah, I just get put on literally live hold with the TV in the background and I'm stuck. So from the application to the end, that's where you can, you just have to guide the client. The faster you do applications, the better. My best advice, each carrier usually has what's called a sandbox. Okay, what is a sandbox? It's a demo application. You go visit the website, you log on with your agent number. Americo has a live demo. Aetna has sandbox. Prosperity, it doesn't, but just play around with it, but don't complete it. Those are the tools that you want to have so that you don't fumble on your first app. You try to figure out what's next. You're figuring it out at the same time as the client. Yeah. But those are good problems to have because what you've done most of the work. You've called, you booked an appointment, you've sold, you presented, you're just doing the app and you figure that out later on. Okay. Any questions? Anything that you think I might have missed?
No, but I did have a question. So because in the roadmap, we review everything up to the applications and stuff like that, right? And you were mentioning that you can make mistakes on the app. So what would you say is the most common mistake that a new agent does when they're completing their first, let's say their first 10 applications?
I remember my first mistake. I didn't click submit at the end. So I finished everything with Americo Eagle Premier. There's a part where it says submit to home office. And then 3 days later, I'm thinking, where's my money? Where am I supposed to get paid? I go back and reopen the app and click submit. Okay, now your application has been submitted.
Okay.
It's very likely to make a mistake. You just want to make sure you follow through all the way where it says submitted to home office. On the left side of most application, it'll have like a map too. It'll have check marks of saying, okay, this part is completed. Move on to the next. It usually won't allow you to move on to the next if you don't complete the first page. So you will have X marks or incomplete marks, and then you can't move on.
Okay. And then, for example, also another question that came up today, I was listening to the live dial. So there was somebody that had someone that smoked.
Yeah.
Right. So the whole smoker rate, how does that work with somebody who, let's say they tell you that they are a smoker, and how are we able to give them like a non-smoker rate, or are we able to?
Yes. So as the underwriter, or as the field agent, you are the first underwriter in line. Okay. And that's where we carry errors and omissions because we want to make sure we want to be as truthful as possible. But smoker and non-smoker rates are almost in an honor system. Right. But you want to be honorable with it and have integrity with it because the client's payout is on the line. Okay. So the insurance company with the underwriting uses what's called a third-party IntelliScript. They run their social after you get the permission and signature for a HIPAA. That's the first email signatures that usually you will need. It's called the HIPAA approval, okay, signature for approval to run their medical records. So once they sign off on that, it goes to IntelliScript. IntelliScript, MIB, it runs their social, looks for their prescription histories. And if they've ever been diagnosed or not diagnosed, prescribed cigarette cessation pills, Chantix, Nicoderm, patches, all these things, that comes up in their prescription. They're counted as a smoker. Okay. But you could be a smoker without having ever quit because that only happens if you wish to quit.
Yeah.
Okay. You could be a smoker and it's on honor system. So you can misclick and put them as a non-smoker and get them approved. But here's what happens. If they die and the insurance company does the research, they do their due diligence and figure out, hey, this client was actually a smoker. It's on their medical records that they're a smoker. Why did the agent put them down as a non-smoker? What would happen? Well, first off, the insurance company is liable to pay if there's no foul play. It's still a what do you call it? A level plan. It's still usually a approved payout, a death benefit payout. The only difference was they should have been paid out as a smoker rate instead of a non-smoker rate. So the insurance company will make the determination based on their premiums amount, based on their age at the time of application, that they would get paid out as smoker rate. But can you give a non-smoker rate to a smoker? Yes. There's only one company that allows that, and that's why we like them, Americo. Americo has a plan called Eagle Premier. That's their whole life plan for ages 40 to 85. The best part about them, they have a quit smoking advantage plan. Okay, so this is a competitive rate for all the carriers across the board. They're giving the client 3 years to quit smoking. So it's an assumption of them quitting. You're hoping that they will quit. The Americo then will give them a non-smoker rate for the first 3 years. On the 4th year, they get a letter saying, hey, you've had this for 3 years. We want proof that you quit smoking. Okay, so we want proof from either your doctor or a saliva test to make sure that you did quit, and we'll keep your rates the same. If you didn't quit, 2 things will happen. You either paid the higher premium now as a smoker rate because you didn't change, or we lower your face amount because you're paying the same. So which have it? They send you a letter. My client actually got one, and then there's like A, B, or C. Send this back. A, you want to keep paying the same. You did quit. Send us information with your doctor records. B, you want to pay the same, lower my face amount. Or C, you want to increase your premium to keep the same face amount. So here's the letter. Let us know what you want to do. Yeah. And my client's panicking. It's like, John, I didn't quit. Well, what do you want me to do? You want to keep paying the same premium with the same face amount? It was a quit smoking advantage. You should have quit.
Yeah.
So that's the situation. I sent her the application, the information on it, and it's like, it's up to you what to do. So hopefully that helps. Any other questions that came up along with the roadmap?
None that I can think of. You?
No. Anthony, did you have any questions? I know you're just listening in. Feel free to unmute.
All good here. I'm just listening, trying to take in as much as possible.
Right. So we went over the roadmap. Do you have a picture of that? Are you part of the GroupMe already?
I am.
Okay, so you should see a picture of it. I would keep it and save it. Where are you in line with your career with us with FFL? How far are you along?
I will be talking with Mark and Steven at 6 o'clock.
Nice.
I got my first 25 leads today, but I've held off on those for right now until I have a conversation with them.
Mark Banks?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, Stephen Jung?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, so you have already gotten leads. How long have you purchased those leads?
Say again?
When did you purchase those leads?
I got them this morning.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so yeah, be on the live dials. Start watching, start learning from it, because you don't want to hold on to the leads. Okay, so
Okay. Yeah, I was watching you guys before this.
right. So the reason why is because most of the leads are internet-based leads. We have clients just like you. If you ever want to shop for something, you keep on clicking things, right? So the clients that are shopping for insurance, they keep clicking things until they get their needs resolved. So we can have an exclusive lead where they filled out a form from one website, but they could have visited another website and they got retargeted. And then next thing you know, they filled out another link. Okay. So there's an algorithm. Same thing if you have your Instagram, whatever you watch, it'll keep popping up.
Yeah.
So I watch something stupid and funny. All of the same stupid and funny things keep popping up.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh man, I made a mistake. Now I'm seeing all these things. So same thing with leads. So if you start watching like a lead vendor, I noticed that I watched for a long time a lead vendor, how they're selling their type of leads. Now I get another ad from this same
from
lead
another
vendor.
lead vendor.
Now I have like my stupid and funny things and lead vendor ads, my sponsored ads. So why does this pertain to you? The leads you have are fresh leads, but from Andrew Taylor, he said that leads, internet leads, they have a lifespan of a fruit fly. They will die out because they will be targeted. And so sometimes if you hold off on it, I had some agents, they were a little bit scared in a sense to call them, and they held on to a purchased lead pack for over 2 weeks. And then now they start calling them. Yeah, of course you're gonna get clients that rebuttal you and say, yeah, I took care of it already.
That sucks because they could have just bought they should have just bought like age leads in that case.
Yes, not just that, but that was your money. Someone
Like
else,
extra age leads.
someone else sold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any questions on leads with us?
No questions on the leads. The leads are pretty straightforward.
Yes, and then the scripts are pretty straightforward. How long have you been with FFL or insurance at all? Have you worked prior somewhere else before?
No, this is my my first time being with insurance. Before I was with Audi selling cars for several years. So
Oh, you have the sales skills. It's
yeah,
almost the
so
same
I'm
thing.
just trying to get all my accounts, my website, and everything set up. So that's the biggest hurdle that I'm just trying to overcome at the moment.
It's
I
not
just
that.
got approved with Americo.
Okay.
Nice.
Through there's a website that I had to go in and I had to
Yeah, through NLC.
Yep, exactly. And now I have to do there's a 15-minute training that I have to do, and it's
Oh.
not allowing me to do it. It's saying my NPN number isn't associated.
Is it your LIMRA AML training?
Correct.
Anti-money laundering training?
Correct, which I thought I already did that, but I guess there's another one once you're approved, maybe.
Well, it depends which one you did because there's a total of 3 different AMLs that new agents do. So you guys do one for American Amicable, which you probably did on NLC as well. So you do that one, and then you do Prosperities, and then you do the LIMRA one once you guys are sponsored with Mutual of Omaha or Americo. So it may be
Correct.
that you well, you said you got appointed already with Americo, right?
I did the Prosperity one. And then
Oh.
I went to go do Limra, and it was saying my NPN number,
Is it
the
registered yet?
username or password isn't correct, which the password is just course. So I don't know if
Yeah,
there's a
Lowercase.
disconnect there.
No. So when you say course for the password, that's not for LIMRA, that's AML.
Mm.
Huh.
So
Yeah, because on the
when you go to LIMRA, the LIMRA one,
Is
your
your
username is
NPN
your NPN and your password is your last
last
name.
name.
Give me 1 second. Let me just pull up these messages I have, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Yeah, your initial password should be your all lowercase last name. Yeah, you can go to knowledge.limra.com/default. And that should be the one that's
Works.
that should be working.
Knowledge.limra.com. And then I got username is NPN number, and then password is course, all lowercase.
No, password is your last name.
Okay, so I'll try my last. Do you mind if I just do this real quick while I have you?
To just get in? Yeah, as long as you're able to get in.
206.
Yeah, so if you go to American Amicable, the username is AML, password is course.
For MM?
Yeah.
All lowercase with a last name?
Yeah. Yeah, American Amicable is AML, password course.
Yeah, it's doing the same thing.
How long have you had your America or Mutual?
It
Over a day? Just recently?
yeah, if I'm correct, it Saturday it went through. It went through as
Oh, no.
Okay, you
corporate
might
Yeah,
just
no.
wait a day.
Yeah, you might have to wait till tomorrow because it's over the weekend.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So you might just give it maybe till, I don't know, maybe the end of the day, or maybe try tomorrow morning.
Yeah. So then LIMRA,
Okay.
it's sponsored by America or Mutual of Omaha or AIG. So they have to give you the agent number, get you all set up, then sponsor you so you have access to the anti-money laundering. So it could be just like a day delay.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Should be good. But also don't let that hold you back. It's after you get your contract, so you can actually start writing, and then you just need to finish that before your first app. So you can actually write business now and then do it later on, and they'll approve it.
Okay, I wasn't aware. I was that's what I was holding off on before making the
Nah,
calls.
you got an agent
You're
number, you
good.
can start writing business.
Ten
Same
four.
thing with prosperity. With prosperity, once you have an agent number, you're off and running.
Okay.
Did you get the prosperity link already?
Yes, I'm already with Prosperity.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
you're ready. Prosperity allows you to write anywhere between 50 to age 50 to 80, and that's the simplified issue, instant approval. So you're off and running.
Sweet deal.
Yeah, your upline is Mark.
Yes.
Yeah, Mark did a couple of sales. Like he helped a few families like last week.
Oh yeah.
He was on a roll like back to back. He had like 3 sales in one day, and like another 1 or 2 more in the next day.
On the live dials.
He's on live dials. I don't know if he was muted or not,
Oh.
but yeah. So you're in good hands.
Yeah.
Sweet deal.
Mark's been around for a while.
Awesome.
Any other questions? We got a few more minutes before we wrap up.
I have a question.
Sure.
How you doing? I'm Brandon. I'm from Virginia. I'm a new agent as well. I've already contracted with everybody,
Nice.
and I had my first appointment this morning in person. Kind of more of
Hey.
an in-person guy, but I know that
Yeah,
some
that's
of this
good.
is going to be remote as well.
Yeah.
But I've had in the process of going through to get my license and get contracted, I've actually acquired about a dozen people that are waiting for appointments.
Okay.
Which is grand. Once those appointments are over and I want to jump into leads, I signed up for, I don't know, they give you, instead of you buying the leads, they give you the leads and they take an X amount of commission.
Oh, he's
Right.
on the lead assist
So-
program with Albert.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So my commission starts at a lower point, but the leads are given.
Right.
And I'm wondering if the leads are the same as far as strength as the ones that I'm going to be paying for.
So the lead assist is based on your manager's lead system that they're buying. They control that. But when
Mhm.
you say if you're going to pay for your own leads, you have full control of everywhere. So this is where it's beautiful with FFL, because we don't have any control on where you can buy your leads as long as they're compliant. And I repeat that, as long as they're compliant. There are some lead companies out there. They're outside the United States, so they don't fall in line with like the do not call list. So they're not called TCPA compliance. So be careful on those.
Okay.
Because what would happen is they would then give you these leads, and next thing you know, you're calling on dead clients, and then you're signing up somebody that's on the
Yes.
other side, and it's all messed up.
Yes. You always want to make sure that you are wherever you get your leads that they are compliant for
But-
sure.
But to answer your question about the quality of the leads, all leads are good leads and all leads are bad leads. So there are people. It can either be a cost based on the speed it got to you, but it's the same versus like an age lead that you got to after 3 months they requested it. And it all just comes down to the sale. So for example, I had an experience last week. I bought an age lead, $1.50 lead. And the guy had policies before, but he lapsed it because he had like an emergency. And then the carrier wanted like 6 months. And he didn't want to pay the 6 months.
Yeah.
He said, forget it. I'll just start a new one. So I got him a new one. I saved him money. He was paying $288 to $250 a month. I was like, oh, okay, not bad. And he said, let me get my wife going. That's the one with the Bell's policy. So I got a referral out of that. And that was like $150 a month. I just got to find another one. And that was a $1.50 lead. Sometimes
Wow.
you will have a live transfer lead. They cost you $60 and they pay like $40 a month. So when it comes down to the lead game, you do want to master that. What the lead assist does, it takes and alleviates a little bit of the concern from a brand new agent standpoint of the investment or the risk side. We
Yes.
take on the risk. This allows you to learn the business at a comfortable level, but you do want to graduate away from that, because once you're
Yes.
on your own, you're on a higher commission contract. And more importantly, anyone and everyone can be sold and bought as a lead for you. So you do
Right.
want to expand and start learning about the lead system later on.
Most
And then-
definitely. Yeah, I'm still fresh in it, so that's what I was asking. And also,
Yes.
I know this might sound like a rather elementary question, but
That's okay.
I have people in other states that want me to write business for them, and
Awesome.
that's all right, right?
Yes. You only have to go, you need to be licensed in that state to write them. So you have a
So if
Virginia.
I'm only licensed in Virginia, and I have people in Indiana that want policies.
So what you want to go to, you want to go to nipr.com.
Uh-huh.
nipr.com, and then you would add a line of authority. So a line of authority, meaning that you have a resident state now in Virginia. You're just paying a fee to be licensed in the specific state you want to be licensed in. You don't have to take a test again. They just want some money from you. Indiana's cheap. I think it's under $50, under $60 to get licensed out there.
And so I go on this website and I pay them 50 or $60, and and I can
And-
write for that state.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah. So
And I can
NIPR.
basically do that for any state in the country.
Yes.
correct.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I thought
NIPR
my resources were limited to Virginia.
at your
No.
current license, your license is limited to where you're licensed at.
Right.
Yeah. So
All right,
I have
so-
about 40 licenses.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. NIPR.com, and then go to what?
And then you will find something in there. It says add a line of authority.
Line of authority. Gotcha.
Yeah. So all it
Okay.
is you're getting licensed in that state. NIPR is called National Insurance Producer Registry. They will look at your resident license, know that you're insured, you're good, and then you just apply. They'll ask the same basic questions, make sure your background is good, there's no issues, and then boom, you get a license. Typically, you get your approval within about the same day or 2 to 3 days you're approved, and you can start writing business.
Oh, wow. Okay. Even better. All right.
Yeah,
Thank
so,
you for that.
So you can
course.
contact those clients, book those appointments immediately, book them in the next 2 to 3 days, and you're off and running.
Good deal. All right.
Yeah.
I also have one other concern or something. I like I said, I had my first appointment this morning in person, but I spent a few days over the weekend putting each company's login into my browser, my computer. So when I went and somebody said, "Hey, I want this and this," the first thing that pops into my head is Aetna, you know.
Okay.
So I wanted to be able to go right to Aetna's site to start it.
Yeah.
Right. But some of the pages take me off to the middle of nowhere. So is there I'm wondering if there might be one site or one something that you guys use that runs you directly to where you need to be to start an app for each company.
No, because each carrier is separated. Even though
Right.
we're a broker, we have access to each carrier, but you do need to go to each carrier's website for it.
I got you.
For Aetna specifically, it's aetnaseniorproducts.com.
Yeah.
If you
Oh,
would've
it
put
took me a minute, but I
Aetna.com,
got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you would have put
Yeah, okay.
Aetna.com, it would, because Aetna does everything.
I did. And it took
And that's
me
where
to
you
the
went
middle of
off.
nowhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you went Medicare, you went health. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would probably
okay.
say also maybe would bookmarking the page work.
Yeah, bookmark the
So
page.
just like bookmark the page where your portal is at, and then that way you can
Yep.
just
But your portal,
That's what I did. Okay.
the start of
I
the
just
portal
didn't know if
comes
there
from the
was a
welcome
faster,
email.
more convenient way to doing it. I already did that part. So, okay.
Yeah.
okay.
No,
Just
that's
wanted to
it.
make sure. All right.
Well,
Thanks,
maybe
you guys.
like, yeah, maybe like in the future, would it be helpful for him to do like, what's that called? Insurance toolkit?
Yeah,
Something like
toolkits.
that for
Toolkits allows you to quote, but sometimes, yeah, it might have a link to start doing an application. There is a website. It's called insurancetoolkits.com. It's a subscription model though. You could do everything on your own for free once you learn everything. But it's like a
Mhm.
one-stop shop. You put in the client's information, all the quotes pop up, and then it'll lead you to your link from there. But I believe it's like
Alright.
$50 a month, which is, I feel like it's a hindrance. It's a good crutch at the start, but
Uh-huh.
you could be resourceful and learn everything on your own,
Yeah.
basically.
Right. And are you guys a fan of Ethos?
I love Ethos. We have it. It's easy. It pays you less compared to other carriers that we have. But if you have a
Right.
situation where the client just wants simplified issue term, let them run it, you're good to go.
And it's basically for the convenience and time frame.
Yes. They do have some drawbacks.
Which
Customer
are,
service
because
is-
I've gone on and it told me if I wanted to get on and start, then you basically run a quote on yourself. So I went through the process to do it, for myself. And it was a little limited But what are your drawbacks to it?
Customer service. If you as the
Really?
agent or the client trying to reach them, they're pretty slow.
So it's like trying to reach Spotify.
Something like that.
Yeah,
So it's high tech,
okay.
quick and easy. Get you. They're quick and easy to get your money, but getting in touch with someone is it's a difficult path.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. That makes sense. Okay.
All right, so we're out of
Thank you,
time.
guys.
Um,
All
we're
right.
gonna
I
wrap it up.
appreciate you.
We are on at 11:15 Pacific time every Monday. So feel free to come back. And then this is going to be on YouTube. It's going to be saved on YouTube Elite Clips.
Right.
So feel free to like and subscribe. We'll see you guys later.
All right. Nice to see you, Brandon.
Have a
Have
good
a good
night.
one.
Have a good one.
Thank you too.
Bye, guys.